The letter arrived on a Tuesday, smeared with Karen's signature purple ink, demanding I tear down my eyesore fence by sundown or face the HOA's wrath. I laughed until I choked on my coffee. Karen, queen of petty tyranny, didn't know the fence was government-issued, built to protect my land from her chaos. My name's Tom, and I've lived on this quiet acre in Willow Creek for a decade, minding my own business. Karen, my neighbor, runs the HOA like a dictator runs a small country. She's the kind who'd fine you for a blade of grass out of place, and her latest obsession was my fancy sleek, steel barrier installed last spring by federal contractors. They didn't tell me much, just that it was security protocol for the nearby reservoir. I didn't argue, free fence, no complaints. Karen, though, saw it as a personal affront. Her house, a mess of peeling paint and rogue ivy, sat across from mine, and she claimed my fence ruined her view. Never mind that her view was a jungle of neglected shrubs and a rusted swing set. For months, she'd been leaving notes, banging on my door, even rallying neighbors to her cause. I ignored her, thinking she'd tire out. I was wrong. That Tuesday, her letter wasn't a request, it was a declaration of war. "Remove it, or we'll do it for you," it read. I crumpled it, tossed it in the trash, and figured she was bluffing. Karen didn't bluff. By Wednesday morning, she'd rallied a posse. I stepped outside to find her, clipboard in hand, flanked by Dave, the spineless HOA treasurer, and Linda, the gossip who'd sell her soul for a good story. "Tom, this fence is a violation," Karen shrieked, her voice carrying across the street. "It's ugly, it's illegal, and it's coming down." I leaned against my porch, arms crossed, and let her rant. The fence gleamed in the morning sun, a silent middle finger to her crusade. "Karen," I said, calm as I could manage, "it's federal property. Call the government if you've got a problem." Her eyes narrowed, and I swear I saw steam. "Don't lie to me, Tom. You think you're above the rules." The neighbors started gathering, drawn by the spectacle. Karen's voice grew louder, her accusations wilder. She claimed the fence was a safety hazard, that it lowered property values, that it was probably stolen. Dave nodded like a bobblehead, and Linda scribbled notes like she was writing a tabloid. I tried explaining that the fence was installed by the feds, that I had papers proving it, but Karen wasn't hearing it. "You're hiding something," she snapped, jabbing her finger at me. "What's behind that fence, Tom? Drugs? Weapons?" The crowd murmured, and I felt the air shift. This wasn't just about a fence anymore. By noon, things escalated. Karen had called a tow truck, claiming she'd have the fence removed for community safety. I stood in my yard, heart pounding, as the truck rolled up. The driver, a burly guy named Mike, looked confused. "This is government property," I told him, showing the paperwork. Mike scratched his head, glanced at Karen, and said, "Ma'am, I can't touch this." Karen lost it. "You're all in on it," she screamed, accusing me, Mike, and half the neighborhood of a conspiracy. The crowd was eating it up, phones out, recording every word. I felt exposed, like a man on trial for a crime he didn't commit. That night, I couldn't sleep. Karen's accusations had spread like wildfire. Neighbors I'd known for years started looking at me sideways. Whispers about Tom's secret filled the air. I dug through my files, found the federal contract, and called the number listed. A bored voice confirmed the fence was part of a classified initiative, and warned me not to discuss it further. Great. I was caught between Karen's vendetta and some shadowy government project. I started to wonder if I'd made a mistake accepting that fence. The next morning, Karen upped the ante. She'd organized a community protest outside my house. 20 people showed up, holding signs that read, "Tear down Tom's wall," and "No secrets in Willow Creek." Karen stood on a folding chair, megaphone in hand, preaching about transparency and community values. I watched from my window, stomach churning. This wasn't just about her Anna Marie, it was the whole neighborhood turning against me. I stepped outside, papers in hand, and tried to reason. "This is federal property," I shouted. "You can't touch it." Karen smirked. "We'll see about that." That afternoon, she crossed a line. I came home to find her and Dave with bolt cutters, hacking at the fence's base. My blood boiled. "Stop!" I yelled, running toward them. Karen spun around, eyes wild. "You can't stop progress, Tom," she spat. Dave dropped the cutters, looking guilty, but Karen kept going, ranting about her rights. I grabbed her arm, not hard, just to stop her, and she screamed like I'd attacked her. The neighbors gasped. Linda's phone was rolling. I let go, horrified, and backed away. "You saw that?" Karen cried. "He assaulted me." The crowd turned hostile, shouting accusations. I was alone, surrounded by people I'd once called friends. The police arrived within minutes, thanks to Linda's 911 call. I explained everything: the fence, the feds, the paperwork. The officer, a tired guy named Rodriguez, sighed. "Ma'am," he told Karen, "this is government property. You're lucky you're not under arrest." Karen's face fell, but she didn't back down. "This isn't over," she hissed, storming off. The crowd dispersed, but the damage was done. My reputation was trashed. Neighbors avoided me. Linda's video went viral on the local X page, painting me as the villain. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of lies. Days turned into weeks, and the tension didn't fade. Karen kept up her campaign, filing complaints with the city, the state, even the feds. I got a call from a government agent, who wasn't happy. "You're causing us problems, Mr. Hayes," he said. "Keep it quiet, or we'll remove the fence and you'll pay for it." I was stunned. Pay for it? I hadn't asked for this. I started to hate that fence, its cold steel a symbol of everything tearing my life apart. I considered moving, but this was my home. I'd fought too hard to let Karen win. Then came the breaking point. One night, I woke to the sound of metal screeching. I ran outside to find Karen, alone, with a sledgehammer, smashing the fence. Her face was a mask of rage, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You ruined everything," she screamed. I didn't know what she meant. Her marriage was failing, her kids barely visited, but somehow, I was the scapegoat. I tackled the hammer from her hands, and we both fell to the ground, panting. For a moment, we just stared at each other, two broken people caught in a war neither wanted. "Why, Karen?" I whispered. She didn't answer, just sobbed and ran off. The next morning, the fence was gone. The feds had come overnight, dismantled it, and left a bill for $12,000 on my doorstep. Karen's house was quiet, her car gone. I learned later she'd moved away, unable to face the neighbors after her meltdown. The HOA disbanded, and Willow Creek tried to move on, but the scars remained. My yard felt exposed without the fence, my life hollowed out by the fight. I'd won, technically, but it didn't feel like victory. It felt like loss of trust, of community, of the quiet life I'd once had. I still wonder where it all went wrong. Was it the fence, or was it us people too quick to judge, too slow to listen? I walk past Karen's empty house sometimes, wondering if she found peace. I haven't. The bill's still unpaid, a reminder of a fight that cost too much. What do you think? When does a community become a battleground, and who's really to blame when it falls apart? Share your thoughts. I'm still trying to make sense of mine.